Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo of Brass Ring Media. Yeah, you see that there? Me and Zach Haydorn, who works with us at One True Sport. If you aren't aware, we have merged. We are now Brass Ring Media. We're no longer One True Sport, but we are Brass Ring Media. We're still going to bring you all the same content that we had, but more. And just a more concerted effort to have some live content, uh, fresh content, and kind of some innovative content too. We're talking about a couple of things, and Zach will be doing his Brass Ring Media show with Tyler Sage. Kick Ash podcast will still be going on. The Nocturnal Knockout is also still happening, and we got a couple of other irons in the fire, as well as including interviews upcoming and stuff too. Is the definite game plan. So pretty cool rebranding. Happy to merge with Zach here and join forces and make this a really, really big effort on our parts to make this something really special and cool for everybody here. And so figured I would do uh, the inaugural version of cleaning up the dirt sheets, which this would be probably, I think it's episode 4. I think I've done 3 episodes of this now. This is going to be a little bit of a distraction from what I'm used to doing. Uh, Obviously, cleaning up the dirt sheets. I'm talking about the wrestling journalism aspect, the reporting aspect, whatever you want to call it. But this time around, too, I'm going to kind of flip the switch, so to speak. I guess it will pertain to dirt sheets in certain ways because you're thinking about a talent's image, perception of them, and certain aspects of them limiting themselves. So this is actually a conversation towards wrestling talent, aspiring wrestling talent who want to be higher up on the card. That's figuratively and literally, and some of that aspect. This is particularly for independent talents. Um, there's been some. I see this from time to time. I see it from time to time. Is that some independent talents uh, tend to want to respect their value and their time, and I get it because you're trying to paint an image of yourself and portray yourself in a certain light where hey, your time is money and you're there to make money, and that's the name of the game of pro wrestling, is making money. But it's also at the same time you're trying to promote yourself. So what I'm getting at is I see a lot, not a lot, but there's a certain um you'll see several talents, and I will say some are named talents on the independent scene, others not so much. They decide that it makes sense, and I've seen talents leave NXT. I'll say this one name, Donovan Dijak. He left NXT, and well, basically, what these talents do is they'll expect money for interviews, to get paid to do interviews, and the initial thought probably on their end is time is money. You're getting to have my presence on your show, and here I am talking. Well, something that I can make perfectly clear to a lot of talents is it's faux pas to pay for interviews. Um, I have never, in all my 6 years of doing this, have never paid for an interview. And I've interviewed many, many names. And so your expectation to be paid for an interview is very short sighted, um, or paid to do extra work when it comes to like promo work and things like this. This is all part of the hustle. Doing interviews, doing promos, all of this is in an effort to promote yourself. You are who you're selling. And if you're thinking that you're selling, people are going to buy you because you are a wrestling talent that is trying to make it in the business because you know your self-worth, is very contradictory to what your ultimate goal should be. Like, there's plenty of names. This was sparked by a recent name. I'm not going to call them out. because I don't want to put them on blast when they're trying to make it on their own. But hopefully maybe they catch wind of this and understand that that's not the way to handle things. I get aspect where you think if you're going on a podcast that doesn't have a huge following, or if it doesn't, you know, if it's really, you're almost doing them a favor. I understand that aspect, but honestly, it's batting practice. Sure, you don't have to take the interview. You don't have to. Don't take the interview, but to charge somebody to do an interview is not a good look for you, and it's not going to pay. I mean, it'll pay you right then and there. I mean, if you get that money, but it's not going to pay dividends in the long run. Um, Look, I've gotten interviews with Cody Rhodes. I've interviewed Terry Funk. I've interviewed Bret Hart. I've interviewed Mick Foley. I've interviewed Eric Bischoff. I've interviewed Jesse the Body Ventura. I've interviewed Henry Winkler, George Kittle from the 49ers, um, Jim Ross. Did I interview Jim Ross? Yes, I interviewed Jim Ross. I have never paid for an interview. Never. And that hasn't happened. And it won't happen. Uh, are you more valuable than those people? I don't think so. Not by a long shot. You can easily be forgotten in this business. And that can go for a lot of talent, even people that are on, the mainstream programming, whether that's AEW or WWE. You can just be a flash in the pan for like, oh, what happened to that guy? Hey, what happened to Nathan Jones? What happened to Ezekiel Jackson? Those are people that have actually made it to WWE. Some of these independent talents haven't even scratched that surface, and they think it's smart or wise or business savvy of them to have charge for interviews, to charge to do promos, when this is the work that you're putting in. How do you think Ricky Starks got recognized by Cody Rhodes? He didn't get paid to do a vignette of himself. He put it out there on his own. And then Cody caught wind of it. And then that sparked an opportunity to go to AEW. And then he was off to the races. Now, obviously, AEW didn't use him right. But in the grand scheme of things, look at where he's ended up and look at the trajectory that he's been on. So to think that it's a smart thing to charge people for interviews is very naive and ignorant in a lot of ways. It doesn't do you well, and it won't do you well. I will never pay to interview an independent talent. You just will not be heard, and you will not be put on a platform. And look, like I said, if it's a smaller podcast, it doesn't feel worth your time. Hey, that's your choice. Decide not to do it. But I mean, if you're getting asked to do an interview and you're maybe not very good at doing interviews, there's much more benefit in just doing an interview than, hey, charging. Look, my cat's ready to do an interview with me. So, yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. I think lots of wrestlers need to be a little bit more self-aware, independent talents and stuff like that. There's a reason that you haven't gone farther sometimes. If that's the mindset you're having, where it's like, hey, I have to be paid to do this stuff. Well, look at all these other wrestlers that are hustling and trying to make it, trying to get their name out there in any way possible by marketing themselves and promoting themselves and doing what they can, putting in that extra effort, even if it doesn't pay off for what they're doing. But hey, look, somebody like a Richard Holiday does a vignette for an independent show he's going to be on, and like puts the time and effort and the dedication to it. This is not about you getting paid immediately to get what you want, because your time is valuable to you. Well, if that's the case, you would put your time and effort into yourself and make yourself valuable to the wrestling world. So there you go. This was a short one, but I wanted to get it out there because I was very motivated after what I saw online this past week. And so I got inspired to chat about it. If you want, you can maybe take a look at social media and see maybe who it was. But that talent needs to do a lot more to kind of get their name out there, because I was surprised when I saw this And I'm just like, look, if I don't think anybody would give a damn if you were on a card or not right now. And that's not being mean, that's being honest. Nobody's paying to see this person right now. And for them to expect to be paid to do what they should be doing to promote themselves in the first place is very counterproductive. So hopefully this was productive. This is Clean Up the Dirt Sheets. I'm Dominic D'Angelo. Be sure to subscribe to the Patreon of Brass Ring Media. We're going to do some new cool stuff there. I'll be starting to write some content and maybe do some behind the wall stuff. So that should be a lot of fun. Zach Cadorn has a good game plan laid out, and I'm happy to be a part of the team and merge here with Brass Ring Media. So you can follow us at Brass Ring BRM on X now. That's the new account, and check it out. Follow me on X at Dominic D'Angelo. If you do have comments or thoughts, please feel free to share them. This was a fun topic I wanted to cover. I was fueled by it, and I decided to throw it out here. So I am also recording from a different location because I'm charging my computer. So I hope you enjoy the George Foreman grill off to my right here. All right. See you later and keep on cooking. All right.